It's a pleasure to call Brendan Clarke-Smith to make his maiden speech.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It is an honour for me to be here in this House making my maiden speech as the new Member of Parliament for Bassetlaw and to follow such a powerful and emotional speech from the Honourable Gentleman. It's been a long and winding road to becoming an MP, and when I started nursery school, my teacher told my mother that Brendan's a little bit different and I can't decide whether he's going to end up in Parliament or in prison. Of course, Madam Deputy Speaker, I now know it is perfectly possible to achieve both. My parents grew up in two of the poorest areas of Nottingham, and I was raised on what was once the largest council estate in Europe. We pursued the dream of owning our own home, and I was the first member of my family to go to university. It is this sense of aspiration that has shaped my beliefs and still does. I'm delighted to be joined by so many new friends on these benches who also share these aspirations and a government now committed to driving forward a blue-collar Conservative agenda. My first few weeks as an MP have been challenging. Finding my way around the building and remembering how to properly address people has been difficult. However, this was nothing compared to the challenge of explaining to my wife why a national newspaper referred to me as the biggest swinger in town. Like this modern-day House, my constituency of Bassetlaw is brilliantly diverse. We are fortunate to have some beautiful countryside and are in many ways a rural constituency. At the same time, we boast a proud mining heritage in places such as Worksop, the gateway to the Dukeries in the west, and Harworth and Burcoats in the north. On the other side of the A1, we have the market town of Retford, and the constituency also boasts numerous village communities. Many areas recently suffered from flooding, and I am committed to ensuring we tackle this along with rejuvenating our high streets and supporting our local NHS services. Madam Deputy Speaker, it will soon be the 400th anniversary of the Mayflower setting sail for the United States and the establishment of the Plymouth colony. Many of these passengers originated from my constituency of Bassetlaw. After 2 long months, they reached the New World. This is a commute many of those in my constituency can relate to if they've been using Northern Rail recently. But the legacy of the Mayflower is widespread, be that of the Thanksgiving tradition or the estimated up to 35 million individuals living today who are said to be direct descendants of its passengers. And they set off in search of the right to practice their beliefs without persecution. In Bassetlaw, anniversary celebrations are already underway, and in 2020, Bassetlaw Museum in Retford will be joining over 100 other museums across the UK, US and the Netherlands in the celebrations, as well as Illuminate 2020 events over the whole year. And post-Brexit, I look forward to even greater cooperation with our friends from the United States. Why is this relevant, Madam Deputy Speaker? Because the story of the Mayflower is one of religious freedom and tolerance. I would like to echo the remarks of my honourable friend and neighbour from Briggan Goole, and at this point would like to thank my predecessor, Baron Mann of Holbeck Moor, for his service to the constituency over the last 18 years, and to congratulate him on his elevation to the other place. I would also like to praise his efforts in combating the scourge of anti-Semitism, and I look forward to his work as the government's new anti-Semitism czar. Before my parliamentary career, I was also a school teacher. And over the years, I made many visits to the National Holocaust Centre and Museum in my neighbouring constituency of Newark. And a few years ago, I took a group of my pupils to Poland to visit the concentration camp at Auschwitz-Birkenau. And this was a haunting experience that I will remember for the rest of my life, and as will my former pupils. The camp serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of extremism and intolerance. And Monday will mark the 75th anniversary of its liberation. All the more poignant was a discussion I had with a friend and fellow teacher there, who told me of her childhood experiences in fleeing the atrocities in Bosnia. 2020 will also mark the 25th anniversary of the massacre in Srebrenica. To hear the testimonies of those affected by such tragedies, especially those which have happened in my own lifetime, puts life and the importance of hope over hate into perspective. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, I've spoken about difference quite a lot today, the diversity of my own background and those in this chamber, the diversity of my constituency, and the diversity of beliefs and values. But what I want to finish with is that, as the former MP for Batley and Spen said in her maiden speech, despite our differences, we share far more in common than we realise. Together, we have the opportunity to make sure we not only remember the past, but create a better present and a brighter future for all. To end with a quote from William Bradford, one of those Mayflower passengers, "As one small candle may light 1,000, so the light here kindled hath shone unto many."
Yeah.